Boyfriend, I've read that there are 2 main reasons why couples fight in relationships. Okay. What do you think they are? Give me a guess.
Number 1, why do you squeeze the toothpaste out like this? Just roll it up. It squeezes out so much better.
It looks messy.
Number 2, what's up with all the hair in the sink?
I got a lot of hair. That's close.
Yeah?
No, that's not close at all. No.
Oh.
No. Now, from what I've read, Professor Boyfriend, the 2 main reasons that couples fight in a relationship usually trace back to sex and money. If you think of any, not just relationship conflict, but just global conflict, you can probably trace it back to sex or money.
Yeah.
Helen of Troy, I'm looking at you, girl.
But the thing about fighting is not so much if a couple fights, but how they fight. Research has shown that how well, if you will, a couple fights predicts how well they will do in the long haul.
Okay, so you're talking about like patterns of fighting.
Right.
Kind of like how for you and me, for instance, we might be more likely to have a silent
fight.
A silent fight as opposed to some kind of loud yelling match.
Right. So, sort of. It's more about whether a couple can fight all the way to the end without having one person withdrawing in the middle of it and walking away.
Oh God, and I hate going to bed mid-fight because then I always get terrible dreams that like I'm still in a fight, or that maybe I've got to go to the bathroom and I can't find a bathroom, or that like my teeth are falling out, or that, oh God, there's like a test and I show up and I didn't wear any pants.
None of those are right, but
okay.
The saying is true, never go to bed angry. It is, however, okay to walk away briefly for kind of a cool down session to come back with a reasonable head so that you can listen to the other person.
And all of this stuff about couples fighting and how it can actually be a positive thing or a necessary thing in relationships reminds me of when I heard Ira Glass from This American Life talking about how he and his wife once had to start going to couples therapy, not because they were fighting too much, but because they weren't fighting enough.
Okay.
If you can't have those unpleasant conversations that naturally arise, because conflict is gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
It's going to
It's
happen.
gonna happen. You're just sweeping stuff under the rug and it'll probably explode in a really bad way.
Right, so you don't want to fight too much, and you absolutely don't want the red flags to pop up verbally or physically abusive fight, but you also at the same time don't want to fight too little.
Yeah.
It's kind of all about moderation.
Speaking in very heteronormative terms with guy-girl relationships, I wonder if maybe one of the reasons why we're so nervous sometimes about fighting, or it's so difficult to fight in relationships, is because men and women maybe approach conflict resolution differently.
I think women tend to, especially at an early age, be a little bit more passive-aggressive, whereas men, again at an earlier age, seem to be more pragmatic. It can swing to an extreme with men with the pragmatism of being almost having a robotic fight. There is an issue, let us resolve it.
I will fight with you. And from a woman's perspective, speaking in generalizations here, that kind of pragmatism can make it seem like you're not listening, because we want to talk about more of the issues, the emotional issues surrounding all of it, whereas men might just want to get over it. And then that can cause even more of a fight, and it can make the fight go longer. So again, that cooling off period can be really useful. So you can come back and be like, no, actually, I'm gonna have some perspective on this. You might be looking at it one way, I'm looking at it another way. To answer the question then of how to fight, if you're in a relationship, just do it. You want to do it thoughtfully and respectfully if possible, which might require that cooling off period. You need to be able to duke it out, metaphorically, no fists allowed, and come to a resolution if at all possible.
Spoken like a true heavyweight.
Metaphorically. I'll tell you what, let's go get in a terrible argument and see if this theory holds any water.
Yeah, let's go fight.
Okay.
All right.